All right, all right. You know what day it is? Monday night. Live in the counselor's corner. We are back for another open court discussion. In the counselor's corner, I am your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the controversial counselor. Joining me is the big bad wolf, Herb Lewis.
Ow!
And whomever wants to smoke would join the panel. A recap from this past Monday's show, there are some things that black men should never apologize for. Two of the things that we focus on were don't never apologize for being a caring and nurturing dad, and never apologize for demanding respect. If you missed the broadcast, go back and check out on my YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. Now let's change it up and focus on tonight, September 12th. We will take a look 4 months later, the impact Kevin Samuels had on pretty much the world. We will look at three areas. Number one, he made it fine for traditional relationships to exist when everything had gone against them. Number two, he's given men a say in what is and isn't acceptable without having to worry about being criticized. And number three, in the gender war, he made women look at themselves in the way men do when it comes to what compels men to marry them. This should be another back and forth affair with a lot of opinions thrown out there. Please like and share our video, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. All right. So we here for another one. Man, the oh, we're gonna wait till we get into that. So what's my recap? What's going on in my world? Same old, same old. You know, in the schoolhouse. That's what I'm gonna talk about because that's where I spend the majority of my time. It's kind of slowing down, but some of the things that you hear on a day-to-day basis, how people try to get over on getting their kids into school and stuff like that, it's just wow. So that's another avenue that oftentimes I don't bring up on here that I am an author and wrote a couple books, Cocktail Conversations by the Controversial Counselor and No Friday Foolishness. I really need to get back into my frame of mind of writing like that because it's never ending. The situations, the scenarios is never ending. There's always something, and all I got to do is sit back in the cut and just listen to some of the things that's being said. But nevertheless, slowing down. So hopefully everything could rear into shape and we could have a successful school year. But we'll be talking about that throughout. Herb, what's good with you?
Man, I'm gonna dig in tonight, but I wanna sit back here and let the people know that I'm sipping on vintage of yellowtail. Usually don't drink reds, but tonight I figured I'd indulge.
You are
And
you are suited up and with a tie on, whatever. What's going on? You got work tonight?
no, man, Mondays, Sundays, and Mondays are off days.
Okay.
Football, man, even the work knows.
Okay. All right.
Another
An-
piece to the studio.
Another
So
piece to the studio. What was that?
to the studio, man. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to do some other endeavors as well as this, man. It's just like you, man. It's time for me to get with Dr. Dunbar and start unveiling some writing, man.
Okay. Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
But that's about it, though. That was played like trash, man. Dak's
Yeah.
on the. I'm going to talk about football right now. Just. I'm like
So
Stephen A. I'm just disappointed.
it's over. Y'all can stick a fork in. Y'all might as well tuck y'all fall in. It's over. Um, and my team, the Steelers, whatever. I don't have no expectations for them. We won yesterday in overtime, but um, it's football season. So ladies, you better get in where you can fit in. Some of you have turned into football fans. Um, all of a sudden, you know my thing about that I used to post, and I used to get a lot of slack about the fake uh, women's sports fans, but that's a whole nother subject. But listen, ladies, it's okay to have a team, but stop trying to commentate on it. Stop trying to commentate on it when you don't understand the game like that. Y'all sound real funny when y'all post stuff and you read it or whatever. You're like, what the hell are they talking about? It's not your thing. Whatever you got to be, you got to put in work to be commentating on a sports game. Years of work and probably some experience playing it. Well, not so true because there's some people who go to school for communications and they get jobs like that. But you can also tell also certain areas that they struggle in because they've never been a part of the actual experience. Anetta said, "Y'all corny." How are we corny, Anetta? How are we corny? If you want to come on in, come on in. But how are we corny? I'll send the link to you. All right, so we're gonna get this going. So one of the things we wanted to look back at is 4 months later, quarter of a year, that Kevin Samuels has passed. And, you know, people may say, seem like he didn't make an impact, like he didn't do anything, but anytime you start getting like a million followers and people are, you know, talking and bringing up the subjects that he spoke on, and you're calling somebody, Saint Kevin, the Godfather, and all of this stuff. There was some stuff that hit home with a lot of folks. Then you even have people trying to emulate him in a female version of him,
Mm-hmm.
because they felt like, oh man, he made out like a bandit. I'm going to be the female version of him. So don't tell me he didn't make no impact on people. And these same people would act like they don't like him, but why are you trying to take his personality or his whole gimmick, but do it in a female version? I know. Yeah, I say flattery is the what's the saying? Because
Since
I don't care for it either. What is it again?
flattery is the sincerest form of imitation.
Okay. So Herb, so what's your take on that to start off? That there we'll get into the segment one.
Well, I'm gonna pick up right where you left off. I follow a lot of YouTube content creators, and it's funny you said that people are trying to imitate what he was doing. And one of his biggest critics, who I will not mention by name because I don't want to deal with his nonsense, is actually taking to using other I don't want to say social media things, but he's taken to using Zoom and StreamYards in the same method that Kevin was. Now, Kevin was the originator of that. Nobody else thought to do that. And here this individual is with night after night lambast everybody because he wasn't getting the views that he thought he should have been getting. It came across as sour grapes, even though I still do follow this individual because he puts out pertinent information. I think that people need to honestly stand back and ask themselves, why do we as men, especially black, have a difficult time understanding that if we put something out there for use, somebody comes along and improves it, why not give them their due credit? Why do we need to tear people down, especially people that look like us, when the world at large looks at us as if we're shoestone? It amazes me. And then you have, the woman that, and I won't name her either, she stepped into that space doing the female version of what Kevin Samuels did. And as Obsidian Muhammad Ali likes to say, nature abhors a vacuum. And simply what that means is if there's an emptiness somewhere, someone or something is going to fill it. And she did. And I take my hat off to anybody that steps in that realm because it's not an easy thing to do what he did night after night after night for years on end. He would sit there, take calls, live time. And the reason why he did it live was so that nobody could think that anything was scripted. So nobody could think that anything was fake. And here we would have people time after time after time call in. Even when he hosted his smoke shows were authentic. And his smoke shows, he had smoke shows for women, he had smoke shows for men, he had smoke shows for all his detractors. And it was highly ironic that very few people would call into his smoke shows compared to when he passed. And what I found that to be was really disingenuous and really telling of the human spirit.
Mm. All right.
Are you talking
Another.
about Kevin Samuels?
Yes.
Oh, this is a show about Kevin Samuels again.
Well, it's not a show about him, it's a show about his impact.
Oh, honestly, I'm gonna say he did make an impact. Now, some of the stuff I agree with what he said, and some I didn't. Hi, everyone. How are y'all?
Hello, how you doing?
Hi, David.
Hello.
Hi, Hurt.
What's going on?
Nothing. So, listen, my sisters are over here. They like, what are you on? But some stuff he did was very impactful. The only thing I had an issue with is that high value stuff because I know some men who high value and they trash. So I would just had issues with how he defined a high value man.
Well,
Okay.
just bear in mind that that is not his thing. High value man has been around for eons. We
It
just
has, but he expounds on it an awful lot.
yes, but
And for
keep in
him to
mind.
be expounded on that a lot about a high value man, let's talk about this. Let's unpack this.
Mhm.
He was high value man. So I think I told David, and I'm supposed to send you the link. I watched his funeral. That was a low class funeral for this high value man. Okay. And not saying that you should spend all your money on burial, but the mere fact that for me, his business wasn't straight. It wasn't together. Yeah. His business wasn't straight. Now they ain't do a GoFundMe, but his family was trying to, locate stuff, and that should have been the case because not with a high value person. Exactly. Your business should have been straight. He should have had a will. He should have had his stuff paid already. I mean, I don't make the money he make, and I got a will and stuff paid for before I pass away. But
Let me and I hate to intrude in this matter, but I have to illustrate the point. How long have you been doing what you're doing?
how long I've been doing it?
Yes.
Over 20 years, but I ain't going around saying I'm a high value woman.
No, 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 no. Follow the question.
Don't do that. I don't do that. Don't do follow the question. Don't do
Just,
that.
just, just follow just follow the questions that I'm asking. I'm
Go
not trying
ahead.
to, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm trying to simply illustrate a point.
Okay. Go ahead.
He just got to where he is in 2 years. I don't think you'd have everything that you have in 2 years.
But Herb, I disagree with that. You know how much money you can save in 2 years?
No, 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 no. You're talking about having your financials, will, and things of that nature in order. I don't know anybody who would do that in 2 years,
I do.
especially when coming
I
into
do.
money that quickly.
I do know people that have gotten into money and managed to invest well.
In
I
two
do.
years.
Yes.
Okay.
You still he was married how many times?
Who's that
Okay.
commentating in the background?
Huh?
Who's that commentating in the background?
That's my sister. I told you that.
No,
She ain't
tell her to
commentating.
show face.
She can't show face. She on my phone. And don't listen. You many people y'all have get on here don't never show their face.
Well,
You asked how many times had he been buried?
I said he was married say once
Okay.
or twice, and
Yes.
just from being married along, that would be an unction to have your business straight. Okay. For example, if I get married right now today, for example, let me give you this example. If me and David got married, and don't nobody go around spreading no rumors, me and David ain't getting married. If me and David got married, I'm gonna have my business straight. If I die tonight, David go no. This is her burial stuff. They ship her body to Buffalo. She's going to Forest Lawn in the mausoleum. This is what her children is gonna do. This is what you gonna get. My kids gonna get the bulk of my money in the house and everything else. You just gotta have your business straight. You can't be spitting out all this high value and don't mess with this and don't do that, but you ain't living it. I don't have a problem with his platform he had did. However, I keep being consistent in saying he talked well on his platform, but he did not demonstrate well in his life.
And how do you know that? Because his funeral isn't up to par for you.
No, it ain't the funeral up the part. He died with somebody he had just met. That wasn't his woman.
Once again, I'll ask the question. How do you
You,
know his life was not in order?
okay, my
According
sister said,
to
listen, my sister's saying something. She said, what you say? Are you saying what?
I said, nor his hand. All I'm saying is, any person who spits such vitriol towards the black woman and towards what's going on is somebody who is totally unhealed. You have mommy issues. You got big mommy issues. You got my sister who should have been abused mommy issues. Whatever your issues were, you should have dealt with all of those before you start expounding onto that. Now tapping into somebody else's hurt and now getting followers and gaining traction, and you're not healing not a damn soul. You keep on going back and forth about this hurt, and how she should be, but you never tap in as a man to how those highly valued but unvalued women to you got to where they're at.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. When we do, like Dave do this show, when he do this show, he's giving points on conversations. He giving resolution. I've never seen anything that Kevin Samuel did would gave a resolution. For me, his show was always attackful. It was always bitter and attackful. And then it's even more hurtful for me because I see so many men. I feel, and I'm gonna say this, and a lot of men gonna get mad that didn't have no backbone. That I hear them because Kevin Samuel. I'm like, Ninja, what you say? Forget what Kevin Samuel say. What do you have to say? Can you support what you saying by whatever you saying instead of Kevin Samuel?
Take what he said and discerned it into now you practicing it.
And again, these are just these right and big discussion 76. It's not wrong because this is our point of view and this is
well,
our scope of opinion.
but do you want me to tell you why he's telling you that you're wrong?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna tell me. It don't mean that I'm agree, but go ahead.
Well, it's see, this is the beautiful thing about information and me. I give out information, and what I tell anybody with the statements that I make is I'm not asking for anybody to agree. I'm asking for you to understand. It's in the understanding that I'll have the agreement. Dr. Dunbar, hold on. Dr. Dunbar is what Kevin would classify as a high value man. Not only is he the what Kevin would classify as a high value man, he's actually met with Kevin.
Okay,
Hold on,
that's what I got a problem at. Stop validating another man. Validate yourself.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
In addition to that, Kevin spent the first 2 years of creating content telling men, specifically black men, that you should not be dating or dealing with women until you are working at least 60 hours a week, taking $20,000 a year and investing in yourself, making yourself a better version. So when you step out into the market to marry a woman, you are capable of paying every conceivable cost that it takes to raise a family. Name me one other person in Black America that is speaking like that.
Okay, but that was in his first 2 years. Once he started getting traction,
That was his first 2 years. I'm telling you.
Popular of the unprotection of a black woman.
see, some of y'all, some of y'all may not even been, and I admit I didn't follow. Herb used to always bring him up, but I didn't know who he was, and a lot of y'all don't know who he was, and y'all only based it on that one video that went viral, and that's how you think. But it was other stuff before that that he
It
was
was.
putting out.
I watched some of his older videos where he was talking about men gaining access to their finances, having a job, this and that. I did. But y'all is still in denial that he was disrespectful to women.
Why was he disrespectful?
I'm sure there was testimonies from black women who said he helped them. But I also looked at some of those views from black women who said he helped them. Some of them were still striving to be something.
But Kevin's platform was never geared to tell women how to behave. Didn't care. What he focused on was men. Indirectly, women were coming to him to see how they could land one of those men. And when he laid bare the reasons why a lot of black women specifically couldn't get those men, that's when the shit turned ugly, because they didn't want to hear about their attitudes, their weight, the best children that they're carrying, and everything else that makes a lot of black women undesirable. I've had women on this platform. I've had women on this platform when I said stuff before Kevin Samuels curse me out. And I done nothing to him.
I have a question for both of y'all. I have a question. David, do you consider yourself a high value man?
I'm just David. I don't put myself in any of those categories like that. Alpha man or whatever, none of that stuff. I don't base stuff on titles.
Herb, do you consider yourself a high value man?
No.
Then why do we talk about him
because other people talk about it ain't just about us, is with other people. There's other people that feel that they're high value. But there's so many
men that's on his. I joined his page just so I could see. It was so many men on there talk about, high value man, high value man. Some of them got in and was like, well, I only make $35,000. I make $38,000 a year. I make $40,000 a year. I make this, and I'm like, that is not sustainable for a family. $30,000 is not going to take care of nobody. Okay, $40,000 is not going to take care of anyone. Not the phase of life that we're living in currently right now, the way this economy is. $40,000 is not going to take it. Your mortgage alone is that for the year.
That's untrue. That's untrue. I'm telling you now, as a man who makes $40,000, I do very well.
With $20,000,
paying my mortgage is not a problem.
I'm saying making $40,000, you ain't gonna be able to take care of no woman, would it?
You don't know what I'm capable of.
You ain't gonna take.
Once again, we have.
You make $40,000 a year. Listen, you ain't gonna be able to go on no vacations. You gotta pay your mortgage, your light, your gas, your grocery.
Since when has a vacation been mandatory?
Okay. I don't even know why.
See, this is the type of thing that Kevin used to pull out of people, is they want that lifestyle, but they didn't want to contribute it. Now we getting into the nuts and bolts of what it is that women want, but they don't want to contribute on the back end. They don't want to have the kids. They don't want to clean the house. They don't want to prep food. They don't want to do laundry.
That's not true. That's not true. Women do want to do that. You talk about girls. Girls don't want to do that. Women don't have a problem. Girls don't want to do that. You have to understand that. I mean, it's just, I don't agree with that. Even if you made over $60,000 a year, you have to have two incomes in a household right now.
You do not. You don't. I'm telling you, because I know people who have done it.
Where you live at that this doesn't happen at? Where you live? You gotta have two income households.
You do not. Depending on where he lives. Thank you.
What's your median poverty line?
The median poverty line, if you in Buffalo, Niagara Falls, what else? Any areas like that median is like what? The poverty level is on 36, 30, man, maybe 32.
Are you speaking federal poverty level?
What if somebody only make that much, but they got little hustles or something going on, whatever that's like under the
That's fine
table?
if you got a little hustle going. And I don't want nobody to take this conversation and say that I'm money driven or whatever, because I take care of me. Okay.
No, no, no. Hold on. You should be. There's no reason. I want to make sure that we are on the same plane. If for anybody who thinks I'm attacking Annetta, I am not. Okay, I want to
Oh
make
no,
that.
me and her don't attack. That's my bro. We don't attack, but we
I'm attacking what she's saying, and I do that. So I want people to understand we all family here, and this is what sidebar. This is what we don't do enough of. We don't have these type of contentious conversations, so we get this out here into the
No,
ethers, let it marinate, so we can
no.
see where you stand. So I just want to make
I
sure.
just want us to stop. What we do is we equate love and relationships to finances.
Right,
Okay.
right.
And it's kind of sad that we do that. Like I don't tell men what I do for a living. I don't tell men because what happens is people, and you can say this and you disagree or not, men look at women for money too. Okay.
I will not deny that.
And they look at women for status too. So
Yes,
I don't tell men, oh, I'm this and this and that, I'm this and this, because what happens is they're looking for a come up. Some men are, and I'm gonna say some. I ain't gonna say all. Some are looking for a come up, or some is looking for, oh, she can hold her own. I know she got me when I'm down. No,
I always have to do the bare minimum.
right. And my thing is, at this stage in my life, and don't nobody get it twisted, I can have any man I want. Okay. At this stage in my life, I'm not in a build a bear process. I'm not about to build you. At 50 years old, you need to be built, and you need to be maintaining what you have built. But
So
when
but
let
you
me
see,
come to
so let me
me,
ask you this. Let me ask you this. So do you think the same way that men shouldn't look for women that need to be built?
I don't date her. If she coming
No.
to you talking about you got to have good credit, you need to have your house, and she ain't got nothing, you need to run like Forrest Gump. Them braces need to be falling off your legs. Okay?
but
Because I'm going to tell you now, she looking for know how they got the mega million? She looking for a man million. She looking for you to be the mega million for her. And you need to run, and I tell don't I tell y'all all the time, run like Forrest Gump. Because
but
listen, if you can't go to work every day, push your clock, whatever you do, and create your own destiny of finances and your own community of wealth, then don't sit here and wait for this man to create that for you. No, you got to have your own drive, your own pickup. You got to have that, your own thing going on. Just like I shared earlier today with somebody, you can't just have a 9 to 5. You got to have multiple streams of income coming in. And if you can't develop multiple streams of income coming in and you expecting for this man to take care of you, baby, you stupid. You're dumb. Okay.
that's to what
Right.
you're saying.
Because the thing is, if he walks away, you don't have anything. Because every man that walks away out of a relationship, he walking away with what he came in with, or he walking away with less because he tried to help your trifling bud.
And that was one of the things that Kevin Samuels would ask a lot of women is, are you capable of taking what he has and making it great? In other words, if he needs you to invest or to do something of that nature to where you can grow that income, are you capable of that? So absolutely. But this is why I want to expand on the things that he's done, because a lot of things that he talked about were always overshadowed. They were always pushed aside because it didn't sell.
Right.
So the only way, quote unquote, he could gain traction through other people was to have the ugliness put out there. Good never sells.
What never sells?
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good deeds. Nobody turns into the news to watch people do good deeds. It's
No,
like
that's facts.
it's like my man told me. He said, what makes the news is things that happen that are uncommon. So when those things happen, people tune in. I'm at the point now where I don't have TV at home. No satellite, no Hulu, none of that. So if I want to watch TV, I actually have to leave the house, which for me is not a problem. I'm that type of person that likes to be
You
outside.
said you have to leave the house to watch TV, Herb?
Yes.
Where your TV at?
No, I don't watch TV at home.
You don't watch
That,
TV at home? What the
but see,
man?
but this, hear me out, and I know how this sounds. It sounds absolutely asinine. Like, what do you do for entertainment? What do you do for this? What do you do for that? I tell people, podcast. I'm working and volunteer.
She
Say,
said, my sister said, what, you can't afford a TV? Why you don't watch TV?
and see now we got the personal attacks, but that's okay. I'm good with that.
No, it's not a personal attack.
I said I don't watch, not that I don't
So,
own,
oh, he owns TV. He don't. So why don't you watch TV at home? I guess that's my question.
because there's nothing on TV for me to see. Absolutely
But
nothing.
what's the difference from watching TV at home? Does the television change when it's out?
No, when I go out to watch TV, it's sports. I don't
Oh,
watch. Let me ask you this question, Annetta. Sidebar. What's your
you know
favorite
I don't
TV?
watch TV.
I'm about to say, I don't watch TV.
Yeah, you know I heard. You know I watch TV. How many times you
But
heard me
that's
say
my point. So it doesn't matter if I haven't. I still wouldn't watch it. I don't have the time.
that? Right.
Literally,
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
have the time to watch TV.
Okay.
I work midnight. The only time I'm up generally is from noon to 5.
And the thing about that is they're getting over. We be paying all these damn bills or whatever, and most people don't even watch it. They watch stuff on their phones, uh, laptops, and stuff
That's
like
true.
that. So we would really be wise. I just haven't broke down to say, excuse my language, man, fuck this shit. I ain't paying this, whatever, because I only watch certain things, whatever. Mainly like boxing, um, sports and stuff like that. But all that other stuff, I flick the channels and I may look at it here and there. But yeah, they're getting over. They're getting over on a lot of folks or whatever. And I think people look at it as luxury, and they want to make sure they have it so when they have company come over that they can have all this stuff. But if you want to say, ain't nobody coming over here like that, shit, then there's
Right.
no need to be paying that extra money like that. And
Right.
they're killing the game
So if
now.
you're financially stable, it don't hurt you to pay a cable bill, whether you watch TV or not. And my husband pay a cable bill. I don't watch TV ever.
I didn't hear she said something about
She said if you're financially stable, paying a cable bill is not, it's not a void. She said
it.
her.
It wasn't for me. It was never about not paying a cable bill or a
No,
direct
it's
TV.
not personal. It's not personal.
No. I'm gonna lay it out for her so she can. I'm gonna put it in terms so she can understand. Why would I spend $1,200 a year to not watch something?
I don't watch TV and I pay for
No,
Netflix.
that question was directed to her.
She said she just do it because she can afford to do it, and for her guests when they come
Once
over.
again, why would I pay to do something that I'm not going to do? That's called being
Well,
stupid.
like David said, most of the time people just do it. I don't watch TV, but I have a big old 80-inch television
Mhm.
that is for people when they come over and watch television. They come and watch sports. I just had some guys over and they was watching sports. So
Let me
I'm not.
let me let me put it like this: if somebody come over here, we ain't watching TV.
Excuse me.
Sound like something else. Sound like something else.
We ain't
sound like
watching
sound like something to do with John Deere.
TV. I'm serious. I'm
Come
serious.
on, her. You like if you coming in my house, it ain't about TV. Girl, go sit over there on that couch and get yourself together.
No, but see, but this is why I said that I cook.
You cook?
Come in the kitchen, watch me cook. We gonna open up a bottle of this, and we gonna have a conversation.
Yeah.
He said that's why we don't need TV because when the guests come over,
Somebody said Herb ain't watching no TV. He show like
that's talking to a person that know how
That's
to cook.
Anita.
You don't want to watch somebody cook. If they like
somebody said TMI too much of her.
people in the first place, you be chilling. You be like, okay, I'm gonna go to the chill walk and flick through the channel. You might not watch nothing, but you'll flick through the channel because when you know how to cook, you don't need to watch them.
Right.
What's your conversation about?
His conversation is if you come into Herb's house You're coming for extra.
Tell her, Anetta, tell her she's not built for 100 questions.
Huh?
Tell her she's not built for
He
100
said,
questions.
listen, her got 100. Her.
Tell her she ain't ready for them.
He said.
Let her know. Let her know she's dealing with a wolf.
He said you're dealing with a wolf.
Okay. And yeah, he's trying to be high class to me. No, it's all right.
And see what?
Look, these ones here, you don't want them on the show. They on 10.
She don't listen. When you asked me if I was high class, what did I tell you?
Listen, many people have came and many people have saw, but they all folded up and ran off.
What?
Send me the link.
She said, send me the link.
Anetta, send her the link.
I'm about to send her the link. I'm getting off. I'm sending y'all the link. They like, send me the link.
Yeah.
No, but for real, Herb, I get what you're saying. My thing is that, now, like I said before, I respect Kevin Samuels for a lot of things he said pertaining to the men about being providers, okay? I respect that. But I just didn't like how his mannerisms was toward women. That's what I didn't like. Didn't like it.
You know what the funny thing about that is? Nobody ever does. Nobody likes to be corrected unless the correction is coming in a manner that they want it. And that's 90% of the problem with us as a people.
It's not so much correction. It's you got to be able to give respectful criticism with a solution. You can't criticize but don't have a solution. Okay? Because that's not healthy. It's just not healthy dialogue. It's not healthy communication. And I always found that to be a concern for me. Like I said, I didn't disagree with everything he said. I just like some of the things he said, he didn't live it, I feel.
All right, let me ask you this question. What would you say to a woman who said abort all black male babies?
I would be like, you're stupid.
What would you say to a black woman who said use black men as bullet bags?
I would say you're stupid.
Now, it's funny how women can say this, and those things have been said by black women in mass on YouTube, and nobody says a word.
But see, I don't follow those women. You know what I'm saying?
Follow Kevin Samuels.
But you also, but I was forced to listen to him because it was so many people that were scarred and wounded by the things he said. So I was forced to listen.
How?
But,
How?
Because it was very controversial.
To whom?
So much controversy there. So I had no choice but to listen.
But who was it controversial to?
He said you do not have a right to criticize if you do not have. Thank you, Greg. That's what I'm saying. How could you criticize without a solution? And David, you learned this in counseling.
But Greg is incorrect.
What I also learned is also that sometimes we don't give solutions. As I'm not saying he was a therapist or anything like that. You let people have their own solutions. You guide them, but they have to create their own solutions, whatever.
Exactly.
And that's when you know it's real, when they put in the work to create solutions. If you tell them everything to do and they decide not to do it, then shit, it's a waste of time. So you want people that say, okay, you gave me this information. Now I have to create my own solution. Because other than that, it'd just be a Band-Aid approach. Putting it on the Band-Aid, and once that shit wear off, then it's going to be another situation that's going to happen down the road.
Right.
But see, this is the thing. The solutions that Kevin offered have been offered by black men and mass and roundly rejected. Want you to wear your real hair? Won't do that. Want you to lose weight? Won't do that. Want you to stop having wedlock? Won't do that. So how can somebody actually say that solutions aren't being offered when they're being rejected outright?
But why do everything have to be so superficial? You know, lose weight, wear your natural hair.
Weight is a matter of health.
Okay, but the thing is, what's up with y'all men wearing this Beijing on your beard? You know you gray. Ain't nobody going in about. You know what I'm saying?
You have to speak to that. I don't. Uh-oh.
BGS.
What's up with y'all not letting it go? You know you going bald. Why you gotta walk around looking like you trying to hold on to the cradle?
Hold on, I'm 50. The gray that you see is all the gray that there is. The receding hairline that you see, that's what it is. I don't use it just for men. I'm natural. Even at 253 pounds, I'm natural.
I feel like they put so much pressure on women and the whole body shaming and how a woman look. It's absurd to me.
All right, let me ask you this. What is a
God
female?
told me, he said, you wear size 12, you still a big woman. I'm like, and your point is, I'm 50 years old and I look good for my age. What are you talking about?
Another, what is a female's currency?
I don't know. I worry about me.
Okay,
but you have to worry about the market, and when he says that, when
here we go.
Well, the thing is, I brought Kevin in to do this kind of work. So I brought Kevin in 2016, 2017, because there's a lot of guys that were a little socially, how can I say, socially delayed, because a lot of millennials actually socially delayed, especially the ones that went to school and got good grades, and they were kind of like geeks, and they went into STEM and other kind of work, and they were
Socially
some
awkward.
guys are they were socially awkward. They really were. They really were. Because they stayed inside and studied, and they concentrated on their books, and even concentrated on their books, and even in college. And for a black man, especially, okay, for a black man, you have to be socially adept to really to date, okay. And if you don't start early, then it takes a while for you to catch up. And by the time you get 25, you're behind. And there's a lot of guys, and Dr. Dunbar could give you a testimony about how he helped him. But the thing is that I said, Kevin, we had what we call the educated lame wars, right, versus the street guys. And educated lames had problem dating women, and because they were socially awkward, they didn't have the social graces that they needed. So I said, okay, I said, Kevin, we got a whole bunch of guys, whole bunch of my subs. At the time, I had like 30,000 subs. I said, got a whole segment of subs, like maybe, with me, probably about 5,000 or 6,000 guys, right, that make a lot of money. Because one of my guys was Young Grizzly. Young Grizzly makes $250,000, okay, right now. Okay, he makes over $250,000. He said he's got to pay $120,000 in taxes, just taxes alone. But anyway, that's beside the point. But the thing is that have a whole bunch of guys just like him that were delayed, that didn't have the social graces, that needed some polishing. So I said, Kevin, you need to come in and polish these guys, okay? So Kevin came in, he formed this group, he polished up these guys. They became, instead of becoming educated lanes, become high-value men, okay? And what they needed was mates. And then along came COVID, where the economy kind of took a dip. And I said, okay, I said, Kevin, I said, black women, right? They ain't gonna start at the bottom. They're gonna start at the top. And guess what you have? You have a whole case of like 1,000 high-value men that make six figures and up. They're educated, got bachelor's, master's, and PhDs, and they're lawyers, doctors, engineers, and all this kind of stuff. Guess where they're gonna start? They're gonna start with you. So they're coming. So get ready. And but the thing is about the fit, feminine, and friendly, and the dress size. Okay, I got about 8 guys that are PhDs, right? That I know that are my subs, right? And the one thing they have in common, especially guys that have advanced degrees, they have a type that's called AKA. Okay. AKA type, light skin, good hair, so-called good hair, size 4. Okay.
Size
So
4.
basically,
That's small as
size
light.
4. No, it's not.
Anything opposite of their mama, but go ahead.
No, not necessarily. I mean, their mamas would. If you look at the so-called bourgeoisie, you go to Washington D.C., go to Jack and Jill. Okay, them old time bourgeoisie high class chicks. They size 4. They size 4 and above. They make sure their girls are small.
Yes, you are correct. Yes, you
And
are
so
correct.
so no,
And
so
those are the
so
same still with your father in the home, correct?
Yes.
with the father in home, yeah. One thing
Uh-huh.
is
Uh-huh. Two-parent household, right?
with two-parent household. What I'm saying is, okay, if
Father
you're
showing them how to go ahead and have a
let me
man that is
can I finish?
appreciative.
Can I finish? Okay. What I'm
Ooh,
saying
go
is
ahead.
those are the girls that are going to be the it girls, right? Those are the girls that are going to be imprinted on. And when they get to a certain level and they get polished, those are the girls, first kind of girls they're gonna go after. So if you're not a if you're not at best a size 8 and below, and you're a twin 10 or 12, 9 times out of 10 you're not gonna qualify for these guys. That's what he's trying to tell them. But those are like 5% of the guys.
But those are the guys who are speaking up so much about who a high value woman is and what they think a high value woman is this perception of close to white, that is the trophy, like a
Hmm.
Cadillac.
Yes.
But understand the situation that you're in right now, because out of that 5%,
Hmm.
you got probably about like 40% of them that are attesting to be this high value man that don't know nothing from nothing, that can't change their own tire, that don't know how to be, but tries to go ahead and be opposite now. I mean, like you have to go ahead and go through all those same people because you don't have all
Okay.
that pomp and circumstance that
Now you have to make it make sense to me, because you're talking about.
I'm gonna make
I'm
it
talking.
make sense to you. I'm gonna make it
Okay.
make sense to you
Okay.
right
All
here.
right. All
You
right.
don't
Go ahead.
have that same, and I'm from a 10-year age gap from you guys. I'm 42.
I'm 60. Okay.
You,
Oh,
you're not
20-year
older
old age
than
gap.
man.
So in between that, in between that, and I'm 22, I'm 42, and I am blessed to now be celebrating my 15th year of marriage going into next week.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm looking for a point. You
But I
said you're gonna make it make sense.
but I say all this because it took a lot. It took me in my age range and my
Okay.
genre to see all of the people, one, that I should not be
Okay.
accustomed to. This should not be the type of man that you go ahead and value. I grew up in the height of the crack era. So big time high roller guy is who I need to go ahead and be with.
I had two girlfriends that had babies by drug dealers. Okay,
Hmm.
high rolling drug dealers. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. I actually grew up in the crack. One of the guy I played basketball with when I was 14, 13 years old. He was Pablo Escobar's nephew. So I know this stuff from top to bottom. The crack era started in Los Angeles, right down the street from where I grew up at. Okay, so you
Okay.
remember Rick Ross, Ricky Ross?
Hmm.
He's 1 year less than me. If I hadn't been busted, I would have gone to the same middle school that Free Ricky Ross is. I know the area. I know the drug dealing. In fact, if you look at I think it's called that series that it's called Snowfall. Okay,
Hmm.
I could have
Hmm.
been that dude. Okay, so I know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about. But so as far as crack era, I was
Not
right in the middle of
disclaiming,
that shit.
not disclaiming anything that you're saying.
Uh huh.
I'm just saying that you can't microcosm 5% of
But
the
you,
people
you
who
what
have now
you
prescribed. Hold on, wait. Who have now
the thing is you didn't finish let me explaining what I was saying about the 5% of guys and the guys that these
continue?
chicks are looking for.
Go
Okay,
ahead. It
because
makes sense
because you're
to
trying to
elaborate.
jump in and try to make sense. I'm not talking about the 40%, right? The 40% below that are the people where actually really it's the 50% below that. Okay,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
because if
I
you want to
gave
be in
40
the
for some grace.
if you want to be in the top 10% of black male earners, right? All you need is $75,000. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, that's only if you look at millennials, the guys that are 45 and under, right? Only 4% actually earn over six figures. 4%. That's what we're talking about. Okay, and Kevin will tell you that the vast majority of women do not qualify for those guys. But things you have the whole 95%. Why he's trying to get the top 4%?
But they don't deserve to qualify for them guys for everything that they have already laid path
if,
for.
if the guys are not looking for you, you don't. Everybody has a standard, and they have a
Yes,
standard.
you're correct.
If
Everybody does.
the vast majority of these guys that earn that kind of money and have the kind of education that he's talking about, okay, you probably don't qualify for. But there's tons of. I actually did a survey, and I think Herbert was there when I actually was online, had a live, right? I had 12 guys, right? Had 12 guys, truckers. Every one of them earned north of $90,000. I said, how many what I call 92s corporate women actually try to date you? Even though the bottom guy made 90 and the top guy made 150.
But they're not even running in the same circle.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But
But
the
that's
kind
what that's what I tried to say, Mr. Hopper. Like, if you're not even running in the same circle, how can you go ahead and make the comparison?
it's
Mr.
not
Samuels applied for everybody.
no, in other words, what kind of guy were they looking for? What kind of guy were they looking for? They're looking for that
Somebody that can go ahead and provide the American
the
dream.
top $100,000 or more, educated with bachelor's or better, had a corporate job. Those are the kind of guys that these women lined up to look for. He actually described the high value man according to his specifications. Okay,
Right,
that's what the mix was all about.
right.
But are the high value men evolved men? And not every woman is looking for a man that makes
Some
six
some are
figures.
some aren't. But the thing is, if you go to Kevin's show,
Well,
that's
then,
what you're asking for.
if,
The
if
issue
he's
is
an
that
evolved
those high
One
man,
time,
value
one
then
time.
men is
he
You
busy
guys got
chasing
three
believes
behind
people
Yeah,
that
bad
one
talking.
at a
bitches.
Three
time.
people
One at a
talking.
Stop
Three
time.
people
chasing behind
talking.
bad bitches, and you can go ahead and find yourself a valued female, a
It,
valued
it,
woman,
the
instead
only
of chasing behind these bad bitches that look like this two,
That's what they want.
4, and
Okay,
6
that's
size.
what they want. In fact, Shannon Rawls, who used to be a producer in Hollywood, he said the exact same thing that I'm saying. If you want these kind of guys, number one, these kind of guys are going to be looking for women that are probably 30 and under. Okay, and they have to be a size 6 or smaller. Okay, and then most of them have a type that they're looking for. Normally, colorism. I have to tell women, I said colorism only exists at these top levels. Okay,
They
because if you go
want
down
dumb
to
blondes,
if you
guys.
go
They
down
want
to the
dumb
ninety
blondes.
percent, if you go down to the 90%, I can tell you most guys have a huge, humongous range of women that they like, body type, skin colors, hair, all that kind of stuff. Humongous range. Black men have the widest range of body type, skin colors, and types of women and attitudes probably in the world. Okay,
An
but the thing is,
attitude.
but the- and he's an attitude. Okay, they don't. I mean, we don't want to go into that one right now. Okay.
But we have to, because all of that is all inclusive. Because when y'all see light bright, sometimes they think light bright and docile is the same exact thing. And it's the fact that it's not the fact that I have an attitude, it's the fact that I'm passionate.
Okay. I'd have to go into what I call an imprint, right? An
Mhm.
imprint, an imprint is a archetype in your mind of a male or female that's desired by you, and it's in the back of your mind. That is your epitome. That's your top girl. I remember I was imprinted by
It's you that's used to
uh,
on
uh,
top of it.
one of these actresses in Black Hollywood, right? And my fiance looked just like her, and it took me 3 years to say, "Oh, now I know why I picked her." I was imprinted by that girl. It was Pam
Yeah, it's
Grier.
your focus.
That's an
It's
imprint, right?
absolutely your
That's
focus.
it.
Yes.
It's an imprint, right? A lot of you guys, I've actually talked to Dr. Johnson. He says the same thing, right? When he was going to college, guess who the it girls are on the college campus? Who are the it girls on college? Anybody that goes to college, okay, at a major college, HBCU, major college, black girls, who the it girls on college campus?
Mm-hmm. I
Pussy,
get it.
So
But
AKA,
what but
yo,
what but where does that make that being correct? Why does that
I
say
didn't say it
that
was
is the high
correct.
value? Is that the
I didn't I
standard?
didn't I
let
didn't
me
say that was correct.
yes,
Go ahead.
I think what you're conflating is the right of a man to have a choice, even if that right makes women feel some kind of way. It's something that they have to accept because the same way that men have a right, women have a right. But the problem is in Black America, men aren't allowed to exercise those options. Kevin made that easier to say if a man is doing this and he's taking care of business, he has the absolute right to define what he is going to allow to accompany him. And that's what does not
You're
sit
correct. And so does
with
women.
Black
You're
women.
correct.
I mean, it's not even a
I
sold as
don't
women.
dispute that. That's
This,
indisputable. You
the,
can't
the
make
thing,
somebody go ahead and want to be with who they want to be with.
the thing is, these women were coming in to apply for what? These
Mm,
particular subset of guys. And he would
mm.
tell them, there's only a small subset of guys. In fact, he used to tell them all the time, "Why don't you just get a regular guy? working
Hmm.
class guy is more acceptable. Will love you for all your size, 12 or 14. You and your two kids by two different guys. He will love you. He will take you. He makes decent money and make a life together. That's not what they wanted.
Right.
Because it's probably too much in competition with other people. So women have the tendency to base their measures on with their sisters, friends, or whatever the case is, instead of saying, "Shit, I like him. I like him. No matter what he do, the way he treat me, or whatever." They base stuff on that.
Yeah, they're heavily
Because of
influenced by their
the
peers.
discovery phase and or circumstances that a woman goes through, she
Hmm.
is totally ineligible for a certain type of man. Is that what I'm hearing? Help me
It
No,
out.
okay.
depends on if she makes. Go ahead, BGS.
I was gonna say, okay, if you came to me, right, and you said that that you wanted a certain kind of guy, right? You wanted him 6 figures or better. You wanted him to be bachelors or better. You wanted him to be corporate, right? And you
Hmm.
said that, right? And you said you wanted him to be black, okay? And then you gave me what you wanted him to look like. You wanted him to be whatever. You wanted him to be 5'10" or better. You wanted him to be in shape. You wanted him to be successful, all that kind of stuff, right? And I said, okay, now give me your measurements, okay? Because this is what he's gonna want, okay? Because he has the money, he has the power, he has the drive and all that kind of stuff. In other words, he's got all these options, right? Is he
Hmm.
gonna pick something? He's gonna pick somebody that he really wants,
Prior
or is
prior
or,
to prior to me asking anybody for what your totally take, if I just went totally blank off the camera, okay? So
okay,
prior to me asking
uh
for
huh,
your measurements, your body type, how
hmm
do you present yourself? How and my biggest question is why? Why?
why what?
Why do you want this type of man? Not, oh, because I will go ahead, like why? Why
So
is this the
why
type
would
of man that you
are
want
you
to go
talking?
ahead and be with? Did you see this as the example as in your household? Is this something that you have been groomed through by media? Is this something,
Well, it's all of the
why
above,
is
all of the
this?
above,
Yeah.
all of the above. Yeah, all of the above. If you go understand it, what an imprint is, all of the above, and
So then, therefore, you go ahead and now say, well, you're not qualified because of the shallowness of what, like,
it's not
I
even
don't
shallow.
believe that the dating pool is that shallow.
The dating pool, the thing is, you're talking about 4 or 5% of people. You're not
Yeah.
talking about the 95%. Actually, the dating pool is very wide. The thing is, if you pick the narrow end, guess what's going to happen?
Hmm.
You're picking a narrow end of the spectrum, and that's very competitive at that end.
No, I do. I get that. I do get that. I do get that. There's a lot of times where even coming to work, being in marketing, I know that there's a certain way I need to go ahead and market myself in order to betterment my company. I
And
get that.
you work in marketing. You know how archetypes and images work, right? And how
Mhm.
and desire works, right? You work on people's
Definitely
desire.
get that. I'm not saying that anything, I'm not saying that all of the things that the brother Samuel was saying was invalid or wrong.
What
I'm
okay?
not,
What did he
because
say that was?
there are some what I would what
What did he say
society,
was wrong? What did he say was wrong? Let's start there.
where it was wrong is that he has tried to go ahead and box people into what they should be, what they should have.
No, he never tried to box some people into what they should be. He
Sure
never
did.
Okay,
tried that.
all
He
right.
never tried that. In other words, he said, if you
He
want,
never he
hold on,
told
hold on,
people
hold
to
on, yeah, oh,
be
yeah,
at
come
their
on,
level.
hold on. You can't cut me off in like mid word,
Continue.
okay? Okay.
Apologize.
Thank you. Okay. He never boxed people. He said, if I'm a coach and I'm trying to coach you to get a certain kind of guy, and I have to evaluate you strictly, right? Okay. If you want this kind of guy, you don't fit his archetype. So you're gonna have to do something else. Okay. This is like I tell a guy that wants a guy that's chubby and short, right? And he wants a 8, 9, or 10, right? Said, dude, okay, physically, and you only make like $30,000 a year. I said physically, financially, and all the other above, you don't qualify for that check. Okay, so if you want her, you're gonna have to do something exceptional.
But
You
my
really gonna do
question
something.
with him,
Go ahead.
exactly. My question with
Uh-huh.
that is that why
Uh-huh.
do you feel that he does not deserve what he
I didn't say
wants,
it has something about deserve. I said qualify.
or
Right.
Qualify.
qualify for what
In
he
other, in,
wants.
in
He
other
can't go
words,
ahead and get taller.
no, he can't get taller. So in other words,
Mhm.
to qualify for that woman, he's going to have to be exceptional at something else. He's going to have to be outside of something else, right?
Yeah.
In other words, you can't get taller, but you can get richer. So you're going to have a hell of a lot more money, and you're going to have a hell of a lot bigger personality.
So are you
And you,
looking at the business side of the corporation and the business side
no,
of
no, no,
love? Then
no,
are
no.
you then love in itself?
And if you can get lucky, and there's times where it doesn't look like the two sides match, and that's blind luck. But can you coach people for luck? Can you send out there, just go out there, and if you get lucky, you get lucky? No, you're trying
But
to.
you also can go ahead and not damper somebody to the point where
No, and you
they
have
can't
to.
get there.
If you're a coach, and if you're a coach,
You
and
got to
trust
keep it
me,
real.
I would have been a whole lot. I've been be a whole lot tougher than Kevin would be, right? If you were a coach, you're trying to give somebody a realistic outlook of their talent and their resources and what they have and their chances of getting what they want, right? You can't lie to them. Because if you try to say, oh, you know what, if you just be the best person that you can be, and if you just have a big heart and you can get the exact woman that you want, come on, man. I want to give you a fighting chance. Okay,
Let me ask you this, BGS.
go ahead.
Have you ever heard of Rebecca Lynn Pope?
Ever heard of? Yeah, I've done
No,
videos on her.
I'm sorry, I don't know the young lady's name.
I'm
Have you
sorry,
ever? I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
I didn't hear you.
Have you ever heard of Rebecca Lynn Pope?
No, and I will tell you a lot of these things right now. I'm
Hold on, hold on, hold
I'm
on.
not a
One moment.
searcher within this conversation. I
No,
was on the
we're
phone with my
we're not.
sister and heard the conversation that is going on within a person who is in this arena right now.
Okay.
What are you
So as
are you dating?
I'm hearing what is the side counsel of that. That's when I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
What? Okay, you got to explain that because I don't know what you just said. I have
So
no
Okay.
idea.
in explanations, I told my
Because
sister to send me the link for what you're on right now. Because we're talking. Me and Annetta, we're talking. Send me the link and let me go ahead and be able to
Oh,
hear,
okay.
because some
Oh,
things were breaking up. I was missing a couple things in translation and everything like that. Sometimes things end up being woman's plain, and I wanted to hear it from you directly, what you were feeling and how you were saying. Because outside of the fact that I know that she has proper discernment and I know that she has already started doing and laying the foundation for
okay.
what she's looking for, there are other people who are within your reach that does not have that same grasp.
Okay.
And
That means what?
that's why I'm like, oh, well, wait a minute. You can't go ahead and talk this type of talk without the center of balance.
What? Okay.
That
hold on. But she's
Okay.
referencing before you came in, BGS. She's
Okay.
referencing the conversation that we were having prior.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what she,
I'm lost.
it's not wrong. The thing about the reason why I asked you about Rebecca Lynn Pope is this: Rebecca Lynn Pope used to be a matchmaker.
Mm,
She's her clientele was specifically black women. And what she found out through the years was that black women were impossible to match because their expectations always exceeded what they were capable of getting. And this is what BGS is saying. You can't walk to an interview at a Fortune 500 company and not have what that Fortune 500 company needs in terms of an employee. High value men are looking for a specific type of woman because she's going to represent him in every facet. He goes to a black tie dinner, she's there. Goes to a luncheon, she's there. He's
I get
hosting
that.
house, she's there. She is essentially the eyes, face, and ears of his brand.
I get
She
that.
has to look a certain way. She has to speak a certain way. Everything that she does is going to be microscopically broken down. And if she falters in any of those steps, he takes the hit. These women, regardless of what their status is in terms of their weight, kids, they're looking for a man who can ultimately provide the American dream. As BGS says, they all want to be Miss Ann. Unfortunately, everybody can't be a Miss Ann. So
Oh,
there's some
okay.
winners there are going to be some losers.
So your thought is that they all want to be a Miss Sam.
Yeah, oh
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's a
Okay.
lot.
That's a lot to go ahead and say and to unpack, especially to somebody who decided to go back to work after even with her husband making six figures. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But she'll be in a better position because she's better educated to do that. Now, this is not to say that high value men are the most morally upright people on the face of the planet. We know they're not. Even
They're not.
he was talking about getting married. He said, love has nothing to do with this. And I think that was the one thing that caught a lot of people off guard, particularly the women, because women predicate so much on love. It's like it's like the female we had on the platform. Or I'm sorry, we didn't have her. David appeared on her platform about 2 months ago, and I'm not even gonna say her name. Her assertion was that men are incapable of love. Take that how you want
why they want to be Big Shirley though? Because that's probably what your mama look like. That's probably what your mama look like. You should
Big
probably
Shirley.
not go ahead and veer so far away from the hard-working Big Shirleys because that's probably what your mama look like.
My mother was 5'9", 150 pounds, and that's after delivering 11 kids. My mother was overweight. Never. Why? Because my mother walked everywhere. My mother didn't smoke. She didn't drink outside of her Pepsi. Now, for all
Okay,
my
so let me say
Pepsi's
this.
real healthy.
Let me
But
say
go
this.
ahead.
I think what my synopsis of all of this is that first of as African Americans, a lot of us is not taught financial wealth. We're
Yeah.
not taught generational wealth. We're not taught about savings and buying a home. It was like the late 70s where it was like really, okay, you need to buy your own home and this and this and that. So now I just find it baffling that relationships now are based on the value center. Like everything is, you got to make this, you got to do this. And it's crazy because I remember my grandfather working at Bethlehem Steel, okay? And them, love was there. They did what they had to do. Now it's like love has to be bought or it's conditional based on finances or how somebody look. And I'm saying this to the women, y'all out here changing your bodies, getting stuff added, doing all of this to equate to somebody's income. But meanwhile, you get older, stuff starts sagging. You start, it's all types of stuff that goes into.
And now you're spending more of this man money to go ahead and chase a dream that you don't even have to be.
Yeah, do it for social media. That's what they do it for.
But in the same token, you're talking and discussing about the good brother Samuel and how his comeuppance came within that whole entire reality social media type of world that this bad bitch is equated to being a good woman and she's not. Go ahead and focus on being able to find good women and good men again and stop going around. Now, women have now since turned the page and to your what you're saying, women have turned the page and saying, oh, well, this bad guy, this dope dealer, this big street dude is different than, and now we're chasing the people who we would have shunned as nerds and squares beforehand. But now they're looking at a whole different type of demographic because of the fact that, those are the only demographic that was willing to go ahead and give them any sorts of play at the time is still this bottled figure of woman. And it's not the same person.
That's going to depend on a couple of different factors, though. Because, as B just said earlier, Black men have the widest range when it comes to dating. Now,
yes, they do.
It's a recent phenomenon for me to start dating heavier women. When I say heavier women, I'm speaking of women over 150 pounds. When I was younger, would have never looked their way. That was my standard then. Not that my standard has changed. What I'm looking for in a woman has changed. So as long as she meets those standards that I'm looking for primarily, those secondary things I can work with.
Are we looking? So we're looking at standards or quality?
For me, standards is always going to trump quality because for me, when I find the standard, the quality is built into it. It's like me going to buy a BMW or Mercedes. We already know by the name it's quality.
Define quality, Harbor. Define quality.
Quality, something that an object has that's intrinsic.
Such as in a woman, what would that be?
For me, that's going to be different, and this is why I don't define things for other people. Qualities that I want in a woman are different than what another man wants.
I understand that, but that wasn't the question.
I'm not going to answer the question because the question can be misused. Pardon me, the answer can be misused. And I don't want people to take what I say as gospel. It's for me.
But everybody's supposed to take what Kevin Samuel says as
gospel. That's why I refer to him as the good brother Kevin. The
Hold
good brother Kevin.
Hold on.
I'm just saying, the good brother Kevin. Now he's passed on. He's the good elder Kevin.
He never said that.
Who took
I'm
what?
just saying, he's gospel.
He never said it. He never said that.
Who took what Kevin said as gospel? Those are the people you need to direct that statement to.
But do you understand that the masses, now, yes, he may have been trying to go ahead and direct his knowledge and his teachings to only the top echelon, but he has reached the masses, and he has now then put different standards, and he has mixed in standards and quality. And those are two different things. Your standards are what you are attracted to. The quality of that person might not meet your exact standards, your exact regimen to what you see. Okay, so that's why I'm asking, and that's what she's asking. What is your quality? What is your measurement?
In other words, what qualities do you like in a woman? I think that's what she's trying to say.
No,
that's exactly what you tried to say, but apparently it had to be mansplained. But go ahead.
Yeah, it does. It does have to be mansplained because he's a man.
So.
Because he's a man.
I thought it was a simple question, but
no, it wasn't.
No, I understood it, and I'll reiterate for the third time because women don't listen. I am not going to.
When they don't listen, but go ahead, keep it moving.
Third time, I said I'm not going to answer it. I said that as plain as day. People will take what I say and they will misuse it and misconstrue it. I said,
the good brother Samuel.
I answer for me.
Not for we're asking about you.
Fourth time.
Directly about you.
I am not going to answer.
Okay. Moving on.
Next.
Moving on to whoever is the facilitator, because I have not been introduced to the facilitator of this conversation. But moving on.
Spaghetti code.
What's the next question?
I don't know.
I don't even know if we even. I don't even know if we even attacked segment one.
Whatever the case is.
Well, this is why I'm not invited to a lot of things, but it's okay.
No, it's fine. I hate repeating myself. I articulate well. I speak clearly. If I say I'm not going to do something, there's nothing you can do that's going to make me do it.
Absolutely, you're correct. Go ahead. Got it.
Second talking point, Dave, was what?
The second one, because I guess we did cover the first one about traditional relationships or whatever. But the second one is he's giving man a say in what is and isn't acceptable without having to worry about being criticized.
Oh, okay.
So he's giving man some confidence.
Yeah, he's giving them permission.
Yeah,
permission to actually say what they do and what they don't want in a woman. And most black men don't believe that they have that kind of permission.
Why not?
Do it out loud. The way we've been socialized, most black men, because I got 45,000 subs, all black men mostly black men, and basically, and they go again and again and again about the manosphere. They didn't think they had permission to actually voice what they wanted and not want in their life. Okay, over and over and over again. I get that I get that, well, 10 times a day. Okay. The manosphere, it gives them permission to actually voice what they do and do not want
So
because they didn't believe they had it.
are these men
See,
pretty
it's
much saying,
meeting somebody like me who speaks how he wants to without a care of who feels which way is rare. We've been browbeaten to the point where we are timid. The phrase, don't bring her home if she can't use your comb,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
driven into us to the
Pass
point where,
the paper bag test.
yes,
Yeah.
all of that.
Oh, yeah. It's old
Mhm.
school.
Those were things that were ingrained in us by our mother. When we were bringing women home, father had nothing to do with it. She
But
had
that's
to
what
pass
I'm
the
speaking
test.
about as far as your standard.
Said,
The standard is different than the quality of woman. Your mother would want the quality of woman that your standard does
that's
not.
Not
that is
true. True.
that is not true. That is absolutely absurd.
but
Because
Okay.
if you brought a
but
white
he,
woman home who was a better quality than a black girl, she would jettison that white chick without a thought because she was white. This is the thing that black women have never had to experience because we've always had carte blanche to choose. This is what the whole Supreme Court case of Lovey versus what's the name was about.
Virginia.
Love-
Loving versus Virginia. Yeah.
It was about black people make choice. Black people are an afterthought and continue to be an afterthought when it comes to dating. This is why there's all the consternation about passport bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In other words, the black men don't have a right to
Mhm.
go overseas and date or whatever they want to do. And he's the only man on the planet that can't do it without a whole bunch of criticism.
See, these are things that you guys have never been exposed to. You've never had
Even
restrictions
Whoopi
on
Goldberg, Mary Choice's Whoopi Goldberg ain't even got no damn eyebrows.
What's that got to do with it?
Keep it moving, son.
It's
Ooh,
the
Mr.
kind of
Gaines
thing
is not
that-
That's
good.
yeah,
We
my
gonna
If
mother
talk.
gave me the
a
comb
white man
cut.
want her without eyebrows, more power to him.
But see, this is the thing that black women have never,
Wrong, Kelly.
never had to deal with. You've never had your mate choice restricted. You've never had it browbeaten into you that you can't bring a white man home. It may have been a secondary thought,
No,
but
but it has. You guys are still in the same era that now it is like, okay, to have a black woman that is with a white man that and the black woman is voluptuous. Now we are a caricature to him. Instead of being the fact that he loves us for all of us and loves us and sees our potential and wants to go ahead and further our potential, we have to now look at ourselves as being a caricature to
But you-
that white man.
That's not our problem.
when it comes to female.
Oh,
It ain't our problem.
But how can anybody pick up on
but then y'all have to
how much
also go ahead
love?
and look at the fact that now we have become caricatures to our black men to
No, we
where
got-
we are
no, you
racing
got-
down to Miami.
no, you-
We're
you
getting
got-
PPA loans in order to go ahead and
you
race
have-
down to Miami to
black
get our
women have done
bodies
that to
done
themselves.
to become
Black
this
women-
caricature
black-
on screen
black
that y'all
women have done
love,
that
y'all
themselves.
want, and
Black
y'all
women did
say
that to
that this is
themselves.
the
No,
upper
black
echelon of
Black women
woman.
did that. That's called money. Black women do because the hot girls got BBLs and wide hips and they make money. That's why they do it. It's called
Mm.
money. It has nothing to do with them being chosen. It's called money.
Okay. But
That's-
not giving
model,
the same
IG
woman
model
the
type
same
with
time in order to go ahead and exercise down
We-
to get to those hips that they love.
Well, the thing is that's called money. If you look at the IG models and the imprint that the IG models and those kind of girls, the Atlanta girls from the strip clubs actually put out there, they imprinted those guys. The guys will spend more money if you look like that. That's how come they go
And
spend.
those are the same guys that sitting there are stranded in the strip club, getting out their high tech
spending
jobs
money,
and
spending
looking
money.
at these people like P Valley. Like, what?
They're spending money, but those not the kind of girls that they marry.
Mm.
because they can't take their girl home. They can't take their girl to the office party. They can't take her to the corporate business venture because she's gonna look like a stripper. You can't take a stripper to to a bourgeois outing. It's not gonna work that way. Okay,
Well, I
she's
mean,
a
I know
side
that,
girl.
but there's
She's a
so
side
many of the the Kevin Samuel brothers that
girl.
follow him that don't understand that.
They do
I,
understand
I'm,
it.
I'm
I do
Oh,
not.
they
why
do
can't a
understand it.
stripper? Why can't a
Woo!
stripper go to
How
a high end event and look
to
classy?
You,
how
I'm
should
you want to know why? You really want to know why?
Yeah, because if I was a stripper, I could sure walk into
No,
a,
you could. No, you
a
could not
gala
because
looking proper.
because all the wives would tear you and him to shreds. Okay,
yeah,
they would not
Why
allow
is
you
that?
in because you don't fit.
fit? You're out of place.
You're out of place, and the wives will let you know that you're out of place. You don't belong here. They'll tap you
How
on the
is
shoulder.
that though?
They,
So how is
I,
that? Are we just judging this
Because
on basis
yes,
of
yes.
clothing? You think a stripper
Yeah.
only
Y'all
gonna
know
be
how
all
that works. Come
Why?
on now.
Why?
Y'all know how that works.
no,
Stop it.
Yeah,
no,
they
no,
do know
no,
how
no,
it
no.
works.
I don't even agree with that because I can go and be a stripper.
Try it.
Meanwhile,
Try it.
I have a couple
Try it.
college degrees, my own
Try
house.
it. Try it.
I
Try it.
can what?
Try it. Get you a high value man. Get your corporate dude and dress. Come in dressing like a stripper to a black
I'm
tie
not
event.
saying go into a classy place dressed as a stripper. I'm saying
Right.
that just because you're a stripper doesn't mean that
That
I
you don't
don't
have any
have
clue.
class and can't go
And
into
what I'm
a
saying,
classy event with my
you,
man.
women know looks matter. Okay, especially at that level, looks
It
everything
doesn't
matters.
matter. I can
Yes, it
still go
does.
into
No,
events
it does matter.
that
It
I
matters
don't
to you
look like a
representing him. It
stripper
does matter.
though.
Representing him, it does matter. My lady that does marketing, she can tell you that matters. Okay,
It
it
does.
does
Okay,
matter.
so if
It
I go
definitely
into
does.
an
So
event
Looks
and
do
don't
go
look
matter,
ahead.
like
but
a stripper, but I'm
but
a
it's the fact
stripper,
of you going
then
in and
what's
being
the
able to
One at a
difference?
time.
present
You guys
yourself
talking
the
over each other.
way that you should be able to present
And
yourself.
if you come in,
And I should not have to present myself as a person who has on a spank body. Well, no, because I always go ahead. I'm a woman who loves a good spank, some good pull it togethers, some good pull it togethers, and that's why I always say, I can understand where he's coming from, and even women from that time period of your parents and my parents, my mother has always instilled on me on good body foundation, but it's always the same thing as far as now you have this caricature of women that is extra. We
okay.
went from being able to have people in our vision, our
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy Dandridges
Mm-hmm.
and our Josephine Bakers,
Mm-hmm.
to now being this caricature of, even with those same body types. Like when once Beyonce really let those hips flow,
Mm-hmm.
she is compared to, like, not even so much Beyonce. And I love my Serena and Venus, my Williams sisters. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God.
Mm-hmm.
But the type of fire that they come under because of our natural bodies and our
From who?
natural type.
From whom?
We don't even have our Black men standing up against that.
Oh,
And
please.
those are our
Yes, we did. Oh, yes, we did. Oh, yes, we did. When they were little girls, teenagers, it was Black men that actually stood up against those white racist bastards. They didn't like them little Black girls beating up on them
as
white
they were teenagers, as they was
even
coming up. But I'm talking about in
they're
the
still
now, in the
popular. They're
Kevin,
still popular. They're still
in the
popular.
KC. Now he's not even BC.
Hold on for a
He's
moment.
KC.
Hold on for a moment. For one moment, hold on. You have to keep in mind that where Serena and Venus are from, BGS lives there. Don't forget it.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's telling you about people standing up for them is gospel. They didn't experience that type of racism that you're talking about until they got out and started playing world tennis.
In European, you're correct. But the standard of beauty is set by them, and therefore, when she asked you about your standard and your qualities, you cannot give a direct answer between your standard and your qualities. Your standard is what you're seeing every day. So therefore, what are you seeing as your standard? And this is your standard. We're not taking what you say as the KS gospel. Well,
That's
what
not
do you see as your standard?
no. My standard is completely different from the average brother. Believe me when I tell you that. 90% of the women that I see wouldn't stand a chance. A chance. That means I'm not saying hi. I'm not asking how you doing. I'm sorry, Anetta. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, what makes you think that those women, you would
It don't
stand a
matter.
chance with those women, though?
It don't matter.
That's the
I'm the
standard.
one that
The ones that are your standard in quality.
I'm the one that matters because I'm doing the pursuing.
Yep.
Women see
You pursue?
that. Women do not pursue like men do. Don't even try and cross that bridge. It's not even built yet. This is why women still want men to pay.
Yeah.
This is why
Women,
still want.
everybody has standards. Okay. Every human being has a standard
Mm-hmm.
that
Like,
the standards of preference and the qualities that they like, and sometimes all those things don't match.
right.
Okay.
Do those standards and all that stuff adjust after a while? Like when you start getting older, do you say,
Yeah.
man, maybe I need to lighten up on this because shit, I ain't
yeah.
got nobody knocking at my door like that no
Well,
more.
yeah, well,
So,
you
So now
have,
then, therefore, we are settling. Now
yeah,
y'all
yeah,
settling.
yeah,
Lord,
you
thank
settle.
you. I ain't
Yeah,
never had to
men,
settle.
men,
Lord, whew,
men
I
have to
made a
settle all the
clear and
time.
conscious choice.
Men have to settle all the time.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, the things that I used to subscribe to when I was younger aren't the same things. I said that I would never, when I was younger, would not date a woman over 150 pounds. Now I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
That's
I did. When I was young, hey, Herbert, when I was young, before I got 35, she had to be at least 5'8", and she couldn't weigh no more than 130 pounds.
Woo, shit. Woo, go ahead with it.
yeah, I like those
but you
small
also have
fries. I like the little meat.
And the last girlfriend I had was like that. She was 5'10". She had green eyes, red hair, and she was 125 pounds.
Damn.
I'm getting off of here. Y'all
this
so
is the one question.
super
Go ahead with that
philosophical.
Cinderella
But the thing is, once
And
if you
guess
get
what?
older,
And
guess
she
what
your
you got to
ex.
do? You got to
And guess
adjust.
what? Guess what? Y'all keep talking about the last person I date. The last person. They're an ex for a reason.
No. They are. What I'm saying is what I'm saying is we're not talking about who
Well,
you did. We
that's
talk about
standard.
hold on. We talked about what you preferred as a younger man. What he's saying is you adjust after you get older. Okay, you get older. Like the woman I had kids with, right? She's dark. She's no, even though she was very very pretty. Okay, even she didn't weigh over 140 pounds,
I'm
but she
not
was
saying that you
5'4".
have to go ahead and that you have to, your facial preferences have to change. Believe you me, like your attractiveness, I can understand. I am also a chef. I do know that you eat with your eyes, period.
Yeah, I mean the thing is
And
that
that's the same way you go ahead and look at relationships.
my girlfriend in high school, okay, she was 5'8". Okay, she weighed 124 pounds, right? She had big ass boobs, but she was dark as ace of spades. So color didn't matter that much to me. Her height and her stature actually mattered more to me when I was younger. Okay, but you adjust, like Herbert was saying, you adjust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain things for me that are non-negotiables. One
Correct.
of those is underage kids. I don't care how attractive she is. I don't care how much money she got. That's a no-go for me.
No, it's no
So
go.
now Herb's going to explain that, but he won't explain his view of what he finds quality. Okay, Herb.
But that does but in his
She ain't gonna let it go, Herbert.
in his defense, that does go into the quality of woman.
They
because
want
if you're having
you
those
to
younger
give your
kids,
standards.
it does affect my
Quality, no.
quality of life.
Quality.
Your younger kids affects my quality of life. It just does. Period.
I'll put it like this. Anybody that wants to know what my qualities and qualifications are, we can do next week. We will set it up on this platform.
Set up for the next show.
Set it up on the platform.
I mean, you can give a brief overview. We ain't talking about making a whole
that's
show
good
about
marketing.
Herbert and
That
his
is excellent
standard
marketing.
quality.
We can do date night.
That is
It'll-
excellent marketing. I
We'll-
love excellent marketing. Set up a follow-up.
We can do date night. You can ask me any question. I'll be obligated to answer. Provided it's not private. I'm saying that now.
He said with witnesses and all the above.
So either put your money up and show up next week, or forever hold your peace. I'll be here.
You said, I have to save this live. You got to go ahead and tap me back in, Sissy.
I got plenty of wine.
Okay, next.
What you saying, Anita? You over this conversation?
I'm over it.
Over this talking point?
I'm over it. Me and Herbert ain't gonna get married anyway, so it really shouldn't really matter to me what his quality and standards are. So
Not giving up
That
on
is
them.
true. That's a fact.
Oh, not giving up on marriage. Marriage should be the end goal, right?
Not
I
necessarily.
thought I represented the end goal. That's why I tapped in. I ain't know. I ain't. He said, he's a lost cause. Keep going.
You see how the tenfold when you put it out there?
what?
I said, you see how the tenfold when you put it out there?
I still didn't hear you.
Well, we got to move on to the last point.
Yeah, let's move on because I'm still stuck on like you don't know if I'm a stripper. I could be a stripper, but I can also go to a gala.
It's about the look that you have. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah,
do
you expounded on the
It's
stripper.
the quality.
and
It's the
He's
cool
not
of a
talking about
stripper.
the stripper. What he's stating is, and let's be authentic, let's be honest, let's be forthcoming, okay? And it's not a race thing or whatever. If a black woman see you, what he's saying is they already eliminated the thought of you being worthy to have their men. Period.
Yes.
Okay. And it doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter any of that. It's always going to be that black woman, white woman. It's always going to be like that. Okay. So it doesn't matter what.
I've encountered that sometimes, but not all the time.
Some people, because some people are like that and some people are not. Me personally, I'm not because I'm up for the challenge. Okay. But most women do not walk with that confidence of another race, another woman, another race, and then most women don't walk with that type of confidence.
That is a whole nother part to impact. Yes,
That's a whole nother. So what he's saying, what officer is saying, is 100% correct. I'm gonna give him the right on that. He's correct. If you walk in a room right now, I like the cigar bars. Okay, I love cigar lounge. You know why? Because most of the men that are in there, most of the men are quality men who are educated, smart, and I like a great conversation.
Yep.
Okay? And they come to relax. They're not in there trying to, we make deals on the side and all that stuff, talk business. But most of the time we're relaxing. You're kind of, it's just officer, it's just a really laid back atmosphere.
I'm not officer today. That's Charles. That's Charles. That's Charles. Okay.
I'm sorry, Charles.
Yeah, sorry.
You know how it is.
No. Charles is the officer. I'm BGS. Okay.
BGS. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
But y'all know how it is in the cigar lounge. Most men that go in there, cigars are not nothing like going to get a Black and Mild. Okay. Yeah. You really have to invest.
It's class. It's class. It's class. It's a class thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so the thing is, if I'm in this cigar lounge and it's all black people and it's black women and you walk in, it's going to be some opposing thoughts.
Oh, hell.
Period.
Yeah.
It's going to be
there. It doesn't really bother me. I mean,
it doesn't bother you.
I understand it doesn't. It may not bother you, but we got to speak of the reality of what it is. Okay. And I think sometimes we want to walk around and be naive of the reality. And the reality is some of them black women gonna be like, what's she in here for?
Yep.
Right.
She here. We in
here searching and looking. We in here networking.
Some of them are in there with their men. The first thing they doing is looking at their men. Is you looking at her? Because that's just the way people move. Okay. Yeah. That's just the way they move.
You know, hold on. Let me tell a story. Am
I right or wrong?
No, I'm going.
You're absolutely right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
You're correct.
I've had that with dates when I've
seen
to
that
a wedding and stuff like that, and a woman that didn't quite match what they thought that was in the room. Oh yeah. I heard it. My best friend heard it because he was getting married. I heard about her for the next 2 weeks. Okay, from the women.
I don't think it should be a competition between black women and non-black women.
It had nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with that.
Perfectly.
They could be Latina. They could be Asian. The thing is that are you as a man? Okay, as a man, what's on your arm? She represents you, And if
Yeah.
if you bring her in, okay, she might not even hear it, but you're going to hear it for the next 3 weeks, because my girlfriend didn't hear it, but I heard it for the next 3 weeks. I heard that for the next 2 years about her. Okay.
Let me tell a story. When I was 24, I was dating somebody who was 36, Caucasian female.
Oh, oh.
Now, we went to an OJ's Levert concert in Buffalo at Kleinhand's Music Hall. Not but black people. I walk in with this chick on my arm, and immediately every head snapped, and they look like, what the fuck is she doing here? This is what we're telling you. This is not some fanciful dream that we're trying to cook up. It's an undertone that America has that's always going to be prevalent. You can ignore it. You can try and sweep
I understand that.
And who brought her? And
Who brought her to the cookout?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Which speaks to the brother gangs, as he's saying, as far as who's obligated to choose and who's not. But go ahead.
That's just valid. It's just not for women. I was dating a white guy, and he came to a cookout with me for my family, and my family was the rudest people. My family already ignorant, but they was like, "Steph, you know we ignorant." But
No.
the rudest people ever. They was like, "Oh, so you gonna bring pink meat?" It was just crazy how they responded.
So it was
and
the men or the women?
Defense was like, "I'm Italian." He just
The
kept
both.
saying, "I'm Italian." I had to tell him,
It was both?
"Hey,
Okay.
stop telling them you're Italian. You ain't got to keep saying. You ain't got to defend who you are." You
The
know what I'm
disclaimer
saying?
that I'm really brown on the inside.
What?
Nothing.
I'm not a Viking.
Not a
You
boy.
might as well be. You are today.
You are today.
Raheem
Go
said
ahead.
everyone can date in peace except black men.
No. Basically, no. Basically, you get judged, and black men get judged probably the harshest. But yeah, but you
They
are judged.
do. And that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother group of women that I understand there's a lot of my white female sisters that I'm like, wow, you guys got a really, really bad hand because of the type of man that you feel as a quality of man, because it's what you see. So it's hard. Or for them, but it's hard.
Well, the thing is that what they want? It's a because Herbert knows I got an octane scale about class, right? And I don't put one class over the other, right? It's qualities in that particular class that you pick, okay? And if you pick a lower class guy, there's a reason that you pick that lower class guy.
Right.
It's different from an upper class guy. Why? And it's not that you picked him that he's worse or better or anything like this. What qualities that he have that why you picked him? Okay, there's reason why you picked him. Okay, so the thing is that what you want? And if you keep dating that kind of guy or that kind of girl, there's qualities that this group of people have that you like.
Yes, it is.
So if I see a woman that's say upper or middle class dating a hood dude, okay, he's got qualities that she likes. She probably likes. There's a dark because
the danger.
Hood dudes will express their dark side, and a lot of women like the dark side. So he gives her the ability to actually express her dark side that she can't in polite society. So she'll date guys like that.
Dark side, as in.
I want to ride down the street with your gun in my lap. Okay.
With your gun, because I can't get my own gun. But go ahead.
No, in case the
because that old girlfriend loophole needs to be closed up. But go ahead.
No. In other words, if the cops roll on us, it's your gun and not mine. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And see, I know this because I have family members that walked in that walk of life.
Oh yeah.
It's plausible deniability. Officer, this is his cocaine.
Yeah.
This is his gun. I did not.
I ain't did
but
nothing.
I was thinking about something totally different about the dark side.
I'm just.
I was thinking about the dark side as in less than vanilla.
No.
When we
Okay,
see, there you go. Now our race. Okay, there you go.
It's 9:39 here, and it's 10:39 where you guys are. I'm
Yeah.
an old lady. I'm usually in
I
the
am
bed
definitely
by
hanging
9.
up all at the same time,
Right.
Sissy.
Yeah.
What y'all about? What y'all about to drink? Y'all lattes and pumpkin spice and go to bed? Y'all warm milk?
Oh no, this was a fantastic conversation, and I am not steering away from the conversation later. That's all I'm saying.
All
We
right,
are
let's
Y'all be well.
all right.
trying, always
Y'all be
try
well.
get people to come on here and voice their position so that we know where everybody stands. We always say we are not subject matter experts. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. These conversations need to happen and they need to happen consistently. Because when they do, you find that you have more things in common than you do not. By the end of that segment, everybody was on one accord. Everybody was cordial. Nobody cursed each other out. Everybody's being nice. Everybody's being polite. Nobody was demonstrating any animosity to anyone. Question is why?
Like,
and
what are you talking about?
no, and that's the thing. Whatever that you're not coming on here acting like you're some expert or some guru. You're just putting conversations out there, having regular conversations. Like I said, my vision has always been if you're sitting around at a damn barbecue and you're in a circle or whatever, and you just bring up a topic and you just start talking about it. People are gonna bring different experiences and different insight to the conversation because there's really no freaking experts in this shit. They can't speak like Dayway may have worked, but other people have other circumstances that your way may not work in that way. And we're not, I'm not looking at data and stuff like that. It's just regular freaking conversation on what we think and our experiences, and we learn and grow. And you share stuff, and people are like, "Damn, that's a good point." Okay, I get it. I understand. That's all. There's no need to have bitterness. I don't know why we run people off the show. I don't know why people take this shit personal or whatever the case is, whatever. Shit, if you getting run off here, and I'm one of the nicest people y'all know. I say that, my family be like, yeah, whatever. Who you talking about? But
I thought Herbert was one of the nicest people we know.
I never said that shit.
Be the first to tell you, I am not nice.
Herbert, you're nice.
What I am is
You're
respect
unique.
till you cross the boundary. Then I got to bite you.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just that some people take it far too personal when it's never been that. It's never been that. I never used this platform as a personal attack on anyone. We're just having conversation.
No, you're right. You haven't, but certain people do take it personal.
Yeah. And the reason why they take it personal is probably they're hurting. They're hurting in certain aspects of their life, and something hit home, and they're like, and they just, oh, hell, he said that. Oh, this was a personal attack, and then they do whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The show must still go on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Even tonight, it was just me and her, but you have a conversation is going on. Other people want to join in. That's how it's always been.
Yeah, really. Honestly, it has. Because I remember when you first started, and I called in. I was like, well, I'm not gonna let him, sit out there and be by himself. And I called in, and I remember the old soldier when we were talking about the bikes and the cars, and he. I mean, there's been some legendary calls. There's been some legendary appearances. There's just been some legendary things. And some of the things when I think back on them, I'm just like, yo, that was crazy. Did that really happen? Just like, I can't remember the one show where I actually gotten in an argument with somebody, and somebody thought that we had actually manufactured that. They didn't realize it was authentic. It was like, yo, we don't script this. We didn't know BGS was going to come in here. We didn't know Anetta was going to come in here. We didn't know Anita was going to come in here. We didn't know another spirit was coming. This is what it is. And this is what it should always be. There should be a town square, if you will, to where people can show up. A topic, and y'all just discuss the topic.
And probably that's probably the biggest problem because we don't have this stuff in other than social media. You don't have this stuff in real life. Like if you had these conversations, you would have maybe. I mean, I know some neighborhoods may have meetings and stuff that you sit around and you talk about different things. But the ultimate goal is to deal with the dysfunctions in our home, which filters out in the community. But like I made a post, it was one of my memory posts. We will never solve the community issues unless we deal with the shit in the homes.
Right.
We will never solve it. So the home has to be the first place, but also we have to have better individuals and we have to focus on ourselves and we have to learn and grow to say, damn, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should lighten up my my stubbornness, or maybe I should open up and do this or that. So we try to talk about these different things, whatever. It's not no personal attack towards anyone. It's about growing and understanding and trying to be better. No, we don't have no ultimate solution. Obviously, there's places and people that they put grant money and tons of money and they can't get it right.
Yeah.
So we don't have the answers, but we want to at least conversate about it and have real conversations, because I could guarantee you the places that's getting the money, they ain't having real conversations.
Yeah, you believe that.
They pussyfooting around shit about topics.
I had it came to me. What the hell?
What?
Oh, the screen just went blank. I said it came to me what it was. It was the whole April Fool's pregnancy joke thing that I pulled that pissed some panelists off.
Yeah. That was wild. That was wild. It's been wild. It's been a wild ride.
I think when you have a more diverse audience, we can establish a better understanding. Because I don't ever, I mean, as far as, when I come on, I feel like I'm the only non-Black person on the panel. So sometimes I like to get on here because I like to have a better understanding of the Black community.
Yeah, and it shows courage and strength. And there are some, Caucasians and stuff that be in the chat or they're in the counselor's corner throughout whatever. But that shows your leadership skills in things that you've done in your life to say, hey, I ain't afraid to get on here. I take the good with the bad. Yeah.
But it does kind of, I don't know, bother, irritate. It probably shouldn't, but like the whole white woman dating a Black man and Black women not liking that. I still don't understand. Like when I was growing up, it was frowned upon for me to bring home a Black man. But then when I joined the Army, it was, it took a little adjustment for my family to understand, because there's a lot of, in Niagara Falls, there's a lot of, how can I say this?
Segregation.
A lot of the Black community are frowned upon because there's a lot of seemingly crime that we hear about. So it was kind of like when I brought home a Black guy from the Army, my family was like, didn't know really what to expect. So now it's more acceptable for me and my family. And since then, I've had some problems from mainly Black women looking at me, giving me the side eye, or, saying stuff to me about it and behind my back or right beside me so I can hear it. And I'm like, that's so stupid.
You ever seen the movie
in my mind, I'm thinking like that's so petty. Go ahead and date a white guy, date an Armenian guy. I can claim Western Asian. Go date a Western Asian guy for all I care. I mean, mainly white women don't care about that. Well, all my friends anyway. People I've encountered, white women I've encountered, we don't care.
I think it was the Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
Not the Chicago Bulls uh, thing, where and I
Mhm.
can't either one of the leading characters, where the young black male started dating the Caucasian female. She had just moved in from the school district, and she was a
Yeah.
date.
Is it Save the
Mhm.
Last Dance?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay.
And if you haven't seen that movie, Anita, I would
I've
encourage you
seen
to
it.
watch it. Okay. Well, do you recall the part where she said, "Why do you have to come in and take him? He's a good one. We don't have too many."
Okay. The sister Chanel or whatever. So I watched that numerous times. So the
And that
sister said that. Yeah.
it's a resentment because I used to hear the same thing. But the thing that I would counter with was, "You didn't want me.
What
I
was
never,
it?
I would I it was something that I used to hear. You only dating her because she's white.
Mm.
Why would you think that? Because you don't date black women?" I said, "That's not true." And I hear that often. I hear that I don't date black women from a lot of people. It's funny, I used to hear this at work. I would hear that from the executive housekeeper. Her and I would have our morning conversations, and her staff would tell her, "Oh, he doesn't date white black women." And she would turn around and say, "No, that's not true. What he doesn't date is a lower quality of woman." And what
Mhm.
a lot of people have a problem with is looking at themselves in the mirror and addressing their shortcomings.
Mhm.
When you can't address your shortcomings and somebody else is forced to say, "Hey, look, this is why I won't date you," and they run down a list, all of a sudden now you feel like you're being personally attacked, or the person feels like they're personally being attacked. This is why I refrain from a lot of things on here, because I don't want anyone to feel like they're being attacked or anyone to feel like they're being signaled out. So when I decline to answer a question, there's a reason behind it. I may not explain it, but there's a rationale behind it.
We already know that, Herbert.
Apparently not, because I had to explain it multiple times. There's a method to the madness. Like the song, like Heavy D used to say, there's always a meaning in the Heavy D statement. There's always a meaning in the Herbert Lewis statement.
Mm.
Now, get it? No,
Yep.
You got that pizza going, Herbert?
no pizza tonight, chili.
Chili.
I got
Chicken
chili up.
wing?
Ain't nothing better than chili. Chili is one of the better meals in life.
I'm set. I got my mixed greens. I'm sitting at 253. Hopefully by this time next week, I'm down in the 240 range.
All
Okay.
right. All right.
That's good.
210. I'm trying to get between 200 and 210 by the end of the year, so I can fit.
I'm trying to be a size 4 by the end of the year.
Small is life.
Just
I'm
kidding. That ain't gonna
yeah.
happen because I don't want to be a toothpick.
My
Even
goal
when
is
I was 125, I'm still curvy. I'm Armenian. I can't help it.
yeah.
I got hips.
My goal is 225. That's good weight. Good grown man weight.
I
My
mean,
mama said
is that for your personal goal or
my
like
personal
what you
goal.
think society thinks
I don't
looks
give a damn with
healthy?
society. I just think
Oh
I think just
no,
a
I
good,
need to be
nice,
that
good
way.
weight.
So
A
I
good
can wear
weight.
my suits again.
Huh?
What?
I said I need to be that way so I can wear my suits again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just think that's a good weight. Remember,
Okay.
I ballooned up to 300 some over the pandemic, whatever, like that. So, and that shit is like death, a pickle away from death, or
Hmm.
whatever the case is. So, I mean, 225. That's you still, you know, you still agile, you still got a little bulk, whatever, because you still never know. Still
I
never
mean,
know.
a
You
lot
don't go
of
out
women
looking for
like a
beats,
man with
whatever,
some meat
but
on
you
their
want to have
bones.
you want to have some weight behind you.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's just the bottom line, and I'm approaching that, but I got a long way to go as far as getting to that point because a lot of it is probably like the stuff that you eat and all that stuff, whatever. So
Hmm.
that's the closing out part to try to get to that point, eating more
Especially
healthier,
the holidays are
exercising.
coming up.
Yeah, it's just that time of year that you gain weight for no damn reason because it's always something going on. So
Yeah,
Lost 25 pounds since March.
yeah,
my
that's
biggest problem
good.
is sleep. I
Huh?
got my biggest problem is eating and going to sleep. I have to cut that out.
And
Hmm.
even sleep, like if you get your normal rest, whatever, that's a good thing. I don't get normal rest. I'm kind of like a
Yeah,
night hawk, and I get caught. I don't know why I don't go to bed. Ain't shit happened, but I just be up.
Yeah,
I
me
just
too.
be up.
Till
I
two
just be
o'clock in
up.
the morning.
Yeah. So it's a lot of different things that impact it. But at the end of the day is shit. It's about being healthy and understanding. You only um who said that earlier? No, I was watching Anwar and Moldy. You got one life. You got one shot at this shit. There's no coming back. Once you kick the bucket, people need to realize that stuff, whatever. And every day and often you see people in their late 40s and 50s, they're dying.
yeah,
It's real. It's real. And that is too young. That is far too young to die at 50. It's far too young. When the standard it may be like in your 70s or something. In your 50s and your 40s, you dying. You dealt with going through a lot of shit. You ain't doing something right. Uh, so
Sometimes not.
Well, sometimes you have other conditions that kind of lead to, it could be diabetes, it could be lupus, it could be cancer and stuff like that.
Genetic.
Yeah,
When
genetics,
I
but
had my heart attack at
yeah,
43 and a half, it was my doctor was like, it was just a fluke thing. It was just genetics. But I mean, you guys remember when I was at the reunion that summer, right? Like I could hardly walk,
I
yeah,
remember that.
and because I almost died 3 times that year.
Yeah.
But now I've come a long way. So, like, a lot of people don't understand where they're at in life and where they're coming, like what they've been through. Um, it's two different things. I know sometimes I get judged by, I should have this and that, and because I'm 46, and I'm like, well, you don't know what I've been through to get to where I'm at now. So how can you judge me when you
Well,
weren't there to see the progress?
one of the things we had to stop listening to people telling you what you should have and what you shouldn't, because a lot of times those people don't have shit, but they quick to say this or that, and we have to do a better job of not paying attention to the masses of people that's talking
yeah,
on the outside, whatever, because shit, what do they have to what the hell they have to offer? If you someone who telling someone you should be at this point, you should have been doing this and that. I'm the type. I just let people. I
They
just let
don't
them
know the
live.
struggles you've been through to
Yeah,
get to the point where you're at now.
yeah,
yeah.
I think it's pretty irrelevant.
yeah,
That's why I think money is pretty irrelevant. I don't care if I date a guy with six figure income. Well, I mean, money don't mean that much to me. It doesn't mean quality to me. It doesn't mean a high value man to me. A man who's evolved and knows how to have a healthy relationship and communicate is more important to me than money.
I think for some, money may equate to like legacy. When you had children, you want to pass it down. Like sometimes people do a poor job of being able to set the generation after with something.
Generational
Yeah.
poverty.
And then, you're always digging yourself out of a hole where some ethnic groups do a better job with that, so that when the forefathers pass away or whatever the case is, they're left with like a pot of gold, so they can
Yeah.
build on that, whatever. So some things you have to do, whatever, like whether you say, damn, I got to get this taken out my paycheck. Oh, some people think like that, like, I don't want that taken out. But it's like for life insurance and different things like that, that you should spend that extra money, even though you won't be able to see it. You'll be gone, but in your heart, you will want your children or your family members to be able to say, "Hey, we're in a we're in a better place. We all right, whatever." Some people, I had people came on this platform. They was like, they don't give a damn, whatever. Once I die, I die. They ain't getting rich off my shit, and that was that. And they said that stuff.
Yeah. I'm taking a college class. I'm taking 2 college classes right now. One is cultural anthropology, and the other is diversity and something substance abuse community. And we've been talking a lot about like different socioeconomic classes of people, where people come from, how people can misinterpret somebody else's culture by their language, how they use tone of voice and everything. It's really interesting. And one thing that I discovered is that in my family, we weren't well off growing up, but a lot of people look at me and what I have now and think that I've been well off all my life. That's not the case. I was the first woman in my family to join the military. I'm the first to go to college and have 3 college degrees, which don't really mean much to me. To some people it does, you know. But yeah, a lot of people look at me a lot different than what actually is. And that's one thing we're learning about in cultural anthropology. It was really interesting. So
But it is.
I
Most people see
feel
it
kind of
differently.
like privileged that I get to be on the panel and learn more and be more culturally diverse, So thank you for allowing
Thank
me to
you.
be a guest.
And thank you for coming on and giving your perspective, and hearing our plight, whatever. Some
Yeah.
things may make you feel uncomfortable, but it's our experiences, whatever. But
Hmm. And
you're
I have
you're
different
yeah,
experiences, but some of them are similar. Some of them can be similar
and
just
that's
because
the
I'm
whole
not
thing.
black.
And that's the whole thing. A lot of it is what we've
I've
been taught.
experienced a lot of racism
Yeah,
when
that
I
we've
was
been taught.
on North Avenue in the military. I mean, it's been like ridiculous, and I had to I had to learn how to be resilient and strong and not as timid as I was when I was living on North Avenue because I didn't really talk. I was real quiet.
Hey, you got with the wrong people on North Avenue. North Avenue is nothing but love. Nothing but love. North Avenue
Well,
going to Puerto Rico.
I
You
know,
know.
but when I moved there, when I was like probably in second grade, you know, and that was the majority, and I was the majority minority on the block, it felt a lot different, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, we had some divisive ways back in our days there too.
I
So
mean, the rest of the people, like the grown folks, they were cool with like my family and stuff, but I mean, I just kind of felt like out of place because I was like they say white people are the majority, but I felt like I was the majority minority on the block because how many white people were living on North Avenue at the time? I don't know.
That's actually very good.
Not
yeah,
many.
even growing up, but it was it was always it was a pocket of them, but it wasn't that much. And I understand the division that was created. We even had division when we were growing up in them days. But I could tell you from working in the school thing, a lot of it is always adults. I think kids genuinely they they'll play together, they'll make friends and stuff like that, but it's a lot of things that they hear from the home. And then when you get a chance to break down and have conversations, they'll say, well, my mom said this, my dad said this, and
So they
it
the
create
the
tension
adults
for
shape
the
the view
younger
of the world.
generation. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I feel like in high school, like probably 11th or 12th grade, they should have at least a whole semester on developing healthy relationships between different uh, cultures, and even healthy relationships with like boyfriend girlfriend type, and how to present yourself, um, conflict resolution, self-esteem, and communication, because everybody communicates different, especially men, most men.
well, well, like we said the other week, a lot of that is based on trying to drive home certain things that you want to teach them, where some of that stuff probably needs to happen or develop in programs outside of school because
But it
they're
doesn't,
yeah,
because a lot of homes are like, kids come from a lot of broken homes these days, and what example do they have of how to have a healthy relationship or conflict resolution, you know?
well,
So I
well,
think, even if, like, my mom talked to me about it, I would be like, where's my example? I never saw that.
well, like I always said, like most of the things in school is based on academics, and I always say it should be a balance. Like we have all these social issues to deal with, but that they're driving their decisions based on federal money, which is testing and doing a lot of that stuff. They're not pumping money into schools based on social programs. So therefore, you go where the money is at, and that is why someone who probably has time and money and things like that, if they develop programs after school for these kids, then you start building up a pocket of kids that like, man, they'll be better individuals. But
Mhm.
our focus is a lot of it is on sports and stuff like that after school, and no one does programs like dealing with social development,
Mhm.
like job training skills and
Yeah,
conflict resolution and things like that. And when
what a
people start,
healthy relationship
yeah,
looks like.
when people start doing that, then you'll see a difference. But
Mhm.
I'm getting too old for that shit.
It's
My stuff.
unfortunate though, you know. And then at like my stage in my life, I feel like I have to. I mean, I go to, whoever watches this normally knows I'm a veteran, so who doesn't have issues? But I have different kinds of issues. But through the VA, I wanted to learn how to have better relationships, a healthy romantic relationship. So through the VA, we have a couple programs on it's counseling, but you work specifically on relationship revolved issues like conflict resolution, and what a healthy relationship looks like, how to communicate, and um, self regulate your emotions and feelings and stuff like that. So, I just started, but it's really interesting. And it also goes along with my degree that I'm pursuing in psychology and chemical and substance abuse counseling. So I think it's really going to be important part of my future going forward, and also the fact that I'm more culturally diverse because I was in the Army for so long um, has really been advantageous for relating to other people and not just seeing it from my, people would say, my white privilege life, which, you know, not always the case.
It's understandable. I get it. I get it.
Especially when I was in the Army, it was more about male privilege and black privilege, believe it or not, in my job. So
Mm.
I experienced a lot of racism, and so sometimes I understand how black people feel about being discriminated and just by the color of your skin, stuff like that, because it's happened to me.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I think every race goes through it more so, some races more so than others, but I think it's also has to do with uh, wherever you're at in your job. Like the military is patriarchal organization and it's male dominated, so women kind of, we have different challenges, which is another big hurdle in the civilian world, is learn how to be a woman in the civilian world, because it's a lot different. So anyways, that's my rant.
True. Well, we're gonna have some closing comments. Some brief closing comments. We're gonna get out of here and we'll push forward for the next broadcast. So anybody who wants to give their closing comments.
I'll start. This was a lot more productive than what I could have imagined and hoped for. Um, it it goes to show that an individual, doesn't matter what your ethnicity, gender, or education is, one individual with a mission, a purpose, impact can reach beyond their physical manifestation. Kevin transitioned, like you said at the top of the show, David, 4 months ago, and still the reverberations from what he planned is still being felt to this very day. And it's going to be felt beyond. Who knows how far into the future what he set forth will have traction, continue to maintain traction. I do know this. Western culture is at a crossroads. It's like Most Def asked about hip hop. When he asked a question, he said, "Where's hip hop going?" Hip hop going is where we go. So if we go the route of not marrying, not having sustainable families, not building homes and communities, that's the way the country's going to go, better or for worse.
Mm.
So, people, if you ask a question, what kind of future are we leaving for the kids? The answer is, what are you doing for the kids, for their future? As always, growth and understanding occurs in the gray area. Godspeed. See you next time. Date night.
All right.
Pizza and
And
chicken wings.
yeah.
Oh,
Anita, you got anything you want to close out with?
no, I just think we should, we can do a better job of communicating between different races, because there's a lot of miscommunication, a lot of misguidance. I would say
All right.
that's it. So everybody have a good night from me and Buddy. Bye, Buddy.
All right, buddy. And for me, it's all about, again, people come with their message. Some people agree, some people disagree. Some people learn and grow, but the simple fact is, we can learn from every individual. No one, no matter what condition they are, sometimes we have to open up our ears and pay attention and say, yeah, there's some good that each individual can say, no matter what condition they are. So that's one of the things as far as growth is being able to take in information, and it doesn't have to be from a professor, it doesn't have to be from a doctor or some scholarly person, because I can always tell you one of my greatest jobs was when I worked at a rehab, and just listening to some of the mistakes that they made me say, I don't want to go down that route, whatever.
Mhm.
But they were dropping knowledge, and some of them were on the top of, on the top of the world, but they made mistakes and they fell off, and then they were trying to come back up. So as a youngster, I was like, "Man, I ain't going. I'm not going down that avenue." So there's good and bad in everyone, uh, and no matter what, some people put out a message. Some people have huge followings and all that stuff. Not always try to focus on the bad. Try to see the good in somebody's message and see how you could tie that good in with your life, whatever. You'll probably get more out of that person who's delivering that message. With that said, I'm out. Thank you all for who was in the chat. Thank everybody who came in on the panel. See you next time. And everybody be safe and be well. And we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Bon voyage.
Buenas noches.